Hey guys, Zach with All Access Car Shop, and I'm with.
Michael Wagner.
And what did you do yesterday?
I got day 2 at the NAWCQ. I went 9-3 and finished 87th place.
Nice, congratulations. What deck did you play?
I played Snake Eye Fiendsmith. Been playing the Snake Eye deck for a while, and the Fiendsmith cards are just insane with that deck. Yeah, my matchups over the weekend, I played Wetwood's player round 1. I played against a Junk Synchron, or like the Junk Speeder deck. I played against 2 U-Bells, 1 Tenpai, and 7 Mirrors, which was, for the most part, what I was expecting. Besides, I was expecting like maybe a little more U-Bell, I guess.
Awesome. Any shoutouts before we get into the deck profile?
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to All Access, of course. Best locals in Wisconsin. Insane testing group. Shout out to Daniel, Micah, Mitchell. Joel helped me test like a lot, doing like drills and stuff, like testing individual cards. I mean, honestly, everybody in the group chat, if you're in All Access watching this, really couldn't have done it without all you guys.
Awesome. Let's get into the deck profile.
Alright, so for the main deck engine, 3 Ash, 2 Poplar, 1 Oak, 1 Flamberge, 1 Diabell Star. You're not playing Hope Harbinger anymore, so the only 1 Flamberge is good. And then 3 Witch. Something like random to note is like my side pattern post side. Going second, I cut 2 of these and I cut this in Temple. It's not that good, and my side deck also will kind of show why I like to cut Witch post side. 3 Bonfire, 3 Poster, Original, Temple for like the Snake Eye cards, and then for the Fiendsmiths, 3 Engraver, 1 Tract, and 1 Lurie. So something to note, I play 50 cards, because me personally, I saw a lot of people trying decks where like they have like a lot of hand trap count in like a 44-45 card deck, and that's definitely like a solid way to take the approach, but I was just way too worried about losing too many games going first to not having enough hand traps, so I still wanted my engine to non-engine ratio to be kind of similar to what it was before the Fiendsmith cards came out. However, something to note with me playing 50 cards is I still only wanted 1 Tract, because if you open Tract Fiendsmith, nobody ever ashes this card. They only ever ash a spell. So if you see 2 of these in your opening hand, it's literally just a blank. And it's so important in this format for like every card in your hand, especially going second, to be live. So this ratio was perfect for me. And then for the hand traps, so these are the best ones in my opinion. I saw some people messing around with like Bistils. I think Bistils are also like very good after these 15. Every time I tested Ghost Ogre, I wasn't like that big of a fan of it, because like theoretically Ghost Ogres, I don't view it as a hand trap, I view it as like a board breaker, which like can be good, but I'm trying to like shotgun these on like just every first action. I'm trying to like say like, hey, you better have it, especially game 1. It's like you have to keep like having extenders, because there's a chance game 1 for them to just only have hand traps and they pass turn. So since I was playing a higher card count and I needed more hand traps, I played 3 Delta, 1 Gamma, and 1 Driver. This was really good for me. I'm really glad I mained it, because if you open it going first, you could just like pitch it off a Witch, so it's not even like the end of the world. And then going second, this just interacts with cards like Crossout and Original, which very few cards, I mean like no card interacts with Crossout Designator, but very few cards interact with Original. And also in this format, since having just bodies on the field, even if they're like vanillas, since it's so important because they turn into Moon of the Closed Heaven, hitting the Original so they lose a monster is like really important. It also came up like against one of my matches where like I got hand trapped a few times and I opened a Gamma going first game 1, but then I just like, you could just end on a Little Knight, and then when you like Little Knight banish, then your side frame is live. So I'm really glad I played all these hand traps. If I didn't play these, I would mess with pistols, but I sided the pistols because I thought they were good. And then something that also like wasn't standard in hindsight this weekend was I just like mained these. I'll show this in a second, but like a lot of people were siding cross out, but like I said, like I really wanted this in the main deck in case of like for just me going first, especially because like even though this isn't a starter, this is the best card to pair with any starter in your opening hand because it just pushes your Snake Eye Ash through. Especially like I think what happened on round 12 is like round 11 or round 12 was like just normal Ash, they impermanent, you cross up the imperm, and because they have a face-up card, they can't even like chain the second impermanence. So this was like really, really strong for me. And then the last card in my main deck, which kind of shows to my extra deck, is I played Angel Statue Azarun. To pair with this, like you play the Silver Rabbit. And I really like this card a lot because if you get a hand trapped a bunch, ending on this is strong. And then if you go like full combo, like there was like one time I got Ash Blossomed on my Snake Eye Ash effect, but considering that I got considering I opened Engraver, Ash, and Poster, I was still able to end on Apo, IP, Rabbit, Flamberge, and then my Spicy Side Deck card. So this card's insane. If you don't know what it does, it negates an inherent summon. It's an 18/18 light fairy, so it's actually like has some pretty decent stats too. And then if it dies by battle, you can kill the monster that killed it. So it's not even like it's if they summon a Link 2, you could just negate the Link 2 summon. And if they try to go battle to out it, then you just like kill the monster anyway, so it like trades well. So that was really good. Like I said, that was 50 cards. Extra deck, 1 Link 1, 1 Link 2, Requiem, Sequence, Moon, and Lacrima. I don't play Desiree. I felt like that card was only good if I was going full combo, and I didn't expect for me to go full combo. I would definitely test it in the future. Seeing how other people like were doing like their side and extra decks, but I guess I'll get into that like a little bit more when I get to the side. So that's all the things with the cards I played. 1 Anima, 1 IP, 1 Little Knight, Phoenix, Hida, and Rabbit. These are all my Link 2s. Yeah, the extra deck space is just like super tight. I'll show everything else. I played it was like Princess, Celine, Apo, Access Code, and Beatrice. So it's like I didn't have space for like Raging Phoenix Atlantis, and for me those cards weren't coming up in my end board combos. If I was ever linking off the Princess, I was just making a Phoenix to make it calling to the Appaloosa, and that was making this like really, really strong. And the access code, in my opinion, was like more efficient than like the Phoenix Atlantis, and I really wanted to play Celine, which also wasn't like super common, but Celine got complemented by my side deck, so I was really glad I played Celine. For the side, 3 Moltres, I mean, this card's insane. When you're like hand trapping the mirror going second, especially like if you don't have Nib, then they have so many like push cards. Like they could have Talents, Cross Out, Lullaby, that like you might be able to stop them and they end on a weak board. But if you don't have this card, then you just don't have like the resources to kill them. So like my round 11, my opponent, I hand trapped him like 3 times with like Mourner, Imperm, Nib, because I drew this card. And they didn't have enough spells to Celine Apple me. So their board was Hida, Flamberge, IP, with a card in hand, and Princess Engrave. And because I had this, my hand was Poster, Crossout, Bonfire, Oak, and I drew Tracks for turn. and then I drew, and he tried to Flamberge push the IP, and I cross out of the Flamberge, so I don't have to worry about the Little Knight. I only need to worry about one Unknown Hand and Princess Engrave, and I just killed him. So like the resources that you get from this card is like insane. Especially because like another thing to note about this card is like on paper you think like it only draws 2 cards, but you should be like interacting with cards like Snake Eye, Ash, and Poplar. So for them to like keep going and make like any sort of board, they're like there's a decent chance they're summoning a Black Witch, and then you just draw 3. So for my Bishals, this was to complement my Psy-Frames. I played 3 Baldrake. This was really, really good for me. Shout out to Paulo for giving me the idea on this. All like, I guess it's like relatively like straightforward, like because like if you play like Mag Juris, those cards don't do enough in my opinion on like when you interact with them, because they could still like do a bunch and you need it to pair. But if your hand is like only like Baldrake and like a Psy-Frame card, they're gonna have more gas, but now your Baldrake can like tribute the driver and like banish a lake monster is like super insane. So I was really glad to play this. I did think about playing like just more in general of these, but like when I was thinking about like, okay, do I want like the 3rd Baldrake or do I want like Magnamud? It's like, even though Mag is better without the Psy-Frames, when you do have the Psy-Frames, this is like way stronger. So that's why I was really glad to play Baldrake. My go first card for Beatrice, I played Spell Canceller. The idea with this is you Beatrice dump it, Flamberge, place it in the back row, and then it just says they can't activate, or neither player can activate spells. All spells are turned off on the field. So when I summon this, it like force up an opponent to waste a normal summon, which like they like luckily normal like the one of Lurie, and it like wasted their battle phase too, so that was like really good. To be honest, it wasn't as insane as it was in testing, but it was still really strong, especially because it was a very efficient card and it like helped me clear up other like side deck spots. So I really like that. 3 Lullaby and 2 Talents for like more push going first. This was really good for me. The only time I drew this card was against Aditya, who won the whole thing. I played against him round 5, and I like single-handedly won me game 2. I was wanting to play like 3 Talents in the main for like a while. I saw some people do it, but at the end of the day, I just thought like, okay, would I rather have this card be a hand trap going first or going second, or a Talents? And I'd rather just be Talents or going hand trap. So that's why I just side these for only going second.
For going first, you said them only for.
Oh yeah. Sorry. I did not play it for going. I didn't play it going second. I cut all the Talents going second. I only put this in going first to push my plays through. Shout out to the one skill train I play. I drew this card way more times than I deserve to, including round 12. But like it was just like a cross out target, and I way valued like the push cards like Lullaby over Talents. And this was like when I was doing the deck building, this was the only card that I could like fit. It was like kind of like the 15th card. And it was really good. Yeah, I think I saw it like 2 times. One time I drew it going second as a cross-out target. That sucked. But it was
more than twice. I watched you resolve that like 4 times in like day 2.
It was skill change broke. That card should get banned. And then I'm really glad that I realized this trend, like, and I didn't know people were doing this until I got to the event, so I'm glad I did. Just like siding extra deck cards, because your extra deck is just so important, but it's so incredibly tight. You need your extra deck to be fit to like play either going first or going second. So I saw some people side going first cards. I didn't. I sided 2 Charmers. In testing, Lino was good, but it actually never came up for me. But theoretically, like, okay, you like hand trap them or you nib them, and then they pass, and then they like nib you back. then you can just like sub in the engraver from engraver, equip the link one, send the nib, and then you can make a Lina with the nib token and the engraver, and then take the nib, and then you could either make like a Celine or a princess. So this came up in testing a lot. This came up multiple times for me in the event, and it was really, really strong for taking Black Witches. And that's why I could also afford to cut Black Witch post side, because it's a neg1 hand trap. So it's a neg1 engine card, which is just worse than engraver and like all your like Snake Eye cards. So this was really, really good for me. I'm glad I played those. If I were to mess around with this more, I think it was a DTA that was citing the access code, and then he was maining like Desiree. I was like, maybe I could like mess with that, but I like having access code in the main deck. So that was the deck. I'm really happy for how everything performed. Thanks for everybody for all the support this weekend. Like Andrew for getting me water, Isaac and Caleb for getting me snacks throughout the weekend. Everybody kept asking me how I was doing. Everyone in the All Access chat, so I really appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for that profile, Michael.
Yeah.